extension of a relaxation of our A-frame sign moratorium, which allows businesses within commercial zoning districts and the garden office zoning district to put out a sidewalk sign, also known as an A-frame sign. We've been seeing, as a result of this relaxation in our signage code, a number of A-frame signs being placed out by the right-of-way in extension of the business itself. So well out in advance of the business to capture one's attention as they're driving down the right-of-way. Now, this directly opposes many viewpoints from a residential perspective in the community. And it's one of the things that we have struggled with this moratorium is the appropriate placement. And one significant change to this extension of the existing relaxation would be a limitation to place it no further than 30 feet from the primary entrance of the respective establishment. There are some businesses here that perhaps might object to that 30 feet limitation. There are obviously residents that have voiced their viewpoint in preserving the aesthetics in the community historically, and I'm sure as we have considered this over the last month or two in preserving the community aesthetics. So it's a balancing act. You know, what's the appropriate dimension? The idea is try to keep them close to the businesses and pull people into the center where the businesses are located through the signs that we have on the books that allow for monument signs, it allows for tenant signs, it allows for a number of things now that we didn't allow in the past. And then these sidewalk signs, once you're in that development, hopefully will grab the attention of the people pulling into that center and perhaps allow them to come into the respective store.
We, over a year and a half ago, passed new ordinances with council and participation of the public, which banned A-frames. Among other things, it banned A-frames. And we said that that was a little unfair to pull them out from under you with no notice. So the moratorium that's currently in effect was designed to give people a transition period with which to try to start complying with the new ordinance. So what we're doing here tonight is voting on whether or not to continue to allow that moratorium to exist. If we took no action, A-frame signs go away.
That is correct.
Okay.
I'd also like to read from the current ordinance, and this carries over to the existing ordinance. Section B says, quote, "Each sidewalk sign must be removed at the close of business each day." Unquote. Sidewalk signs shall be placed on subject property in which the business is located. In other words, these signs currently cannot be on the town's right-of-way. They have to be back on private property. That's in the current ordinance. That would continue into the future. The only difference between the current ordinance and the upcoming ordinance is the requirement to keep them 30 feet from the main customer entrance to a business.
A-frame signs was kind of a dumbed-down way to allow for businesses in these tough economic times to put a dumb and dirty sign out there on the website.
This lifting of the ordinance was a period of time, a transition period for tenants to approach their landlord and say, hey, we need to do something. If you want me to stay here and be a tenant in your building, we need to come together on some sort of signage, monument signage or wall signage opportunity for my business because it's important to the success of my business.
Alberto Leoni.
Hi, good evening everybody. My name is Alberto Gianni. I own Alberto Restaurant. I've been there 10 years. And I struggled for 10 years. I was known as the restaurant in Carefree, not Carefree. Because I had no identification whatsoever on the Carefree side. When I put the A-frame, I increased my business 20%. I increased your money over 30%. Now you want to take it away from me? I just started surviving and now you're going to destroy me? Come on. I have to be known. The gentleman, Mike, said regarding the landlord. My landlord defaulted with bank. And somebody bought it for 10 cents on the dollar. He's in dollars. He doesn't really care if I have a signage or not. All he wants my money at the end of the I get the money, I have to pay my rent. If I put my sign at 30 feet, I am in my parking lot. So all of you gonna see it. So I need help, and I need you to help me. I need my A-frame. Thank you.
My name is Shelley Marine, and I own Hair by Shelley at 7171 East Cave Creek Road. I too have an A-frame sign out in my area. I am down in a gully. I am down in a little hole area. To be honest with you, I was driving down the street the other day and saw an A-frame and went, oh, cool, there's a new place over there. I want to check it out. I want to go support my local people. If I had a sign to put in 30 feet from my business, it would be in my parking lot. And the signs that we have are all professionally done. I do know that since we put this A-frame sign out, not only has my business increased, but I also do know people are not calling me all the time going, okay, where are you located? I'm not from here. And they are able to find me easy.
John Turner, representing Turn West Design, 7212 East Oakham Road in Spanish Village. We consider our A-frame sign very valuable and consider it to be one of many facets of our advertising.
Lynn Hitchin, 6125 East Little Hope Place. Recently, not very long ago, the council passed an ordinance allowing monument signs. And I know monument signs are expensive, and I was wondering if it was something to consider that maybe the landlords could work with the merchants on the monument signs the way the town worked with the merchants, where they could offset the cost by renting the space for the business names on the monument signs, and perhaps give the businesses a little time to negotiate this with the landlords where they could leave their signs out on the main roads, because I know it doesn't look very good, but honestly, if you don't see the signs on the main roads, you really don't know what's in there without monument signs that have the business names on there. So I mean, I understand the aesthetics, but it does seem that A-frames 30 feet from the merchant store in a lot of these places with, you know, the situation that we have in Carefree, people aren't going to see them.
Business people here tonight, it's up to you to cooperate with each other and find a way to get monument signs up. They're permitted. And they've been permitted since we adopted the ordinance. Fundamentally, our business community has an opportunity to put your name on a monument sign in cooperation with your landlord and the other tenants in your business, and it can be done. So I am kind of in a position where I think you guys need some tough love. One of the people who spoke tonight, and I talked a number of years ago, and they said, we are a quality community, we want to look like a quality community. I don't think A-frame signs along Tom Darlington and Carefree Road give a quality appearance. I think you could do it working with your landlord to put up monument signs. Seems like the problem we have here is the 30 feet. We could remove from this ordinance the 30 feet restriction and just pass the ordinance, and we'd have what we have today. But we could start enforcing. You have to take them in at night, you can only have them out during business hours, and they have to be on private property.
So that I understand is a period of time that we're going to set a moratorium. What are we hoping to accomplish?
The monument signs give the tenants of Mariachi Plaza and Bassett Center more time to put pressure on the owners. I don't care who the owners are, whether it's a bank or a real company.
Or to cooperate with each other and put up signs.
Right.
I understand your comment, I understand we're closed for public comment. I understand that there's people here who are dealing in a bankruptcy situation that's difficult.
And that's one of the reasons we're talking about a moratorium to begin with, let it settle down a little bit and see where it shakes out.
The moratorium expires December 31st, 2012. There's no 30-foot restriction, but the town will begin enforcing the criteria that it has to be on private property, and the signs have to be taken in when the business is not open. It can only be out during business hours.